Yeah.
I'm going to play as...
Ooh, you could play as Chopper. Or you could play as Zora. Luffy's most fun. So, thought we'd maybe talk about the uplifting topic of breakups.
Go for it.
Just comment on some of the weird ass stuff that happens.
I'm keen to hear some of these examples you've heard.
It's not. I won't name names necessarily.
Just call them, like, Mr. X and
Mrs. Y.
You know, Cleopatra or whatever.
And it is both sides. Don't get me wrong. People act weird, I think, when there's a breakup. I suppose depending on a lot on the circumstances of how it kind of all went down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean. So I must admit, even people I've kind of broken up with. Although I would say I've never actually broken up with someone.
Right.
As far as I can recall, I have only ever been broken up with.
Right.
Which is a bit tragic. It probably says more about me. But I get people want to get back on the wagon, you know, but it's a bit about how rapidly you want to get back on the wagon. Like they say you should mourn like a relationship for like, is it a week? I can't remember if it's a week or a month per year that you've kind of been going out.
I think a month per year.
A month per year.
I think I've heard something similar.
Yeah, I want to say it's a month as well. But then I've known plenty of, and maybe it's just the new age of kind of disposable sort of relationships where guys just get fired straight into like a new bird. And I think it's a shame depending on how you felt about it. You know,
I think Andrew Tate is a piece of garbage, right? But I just want to make that clear, right? But he said something that I kind of agree with, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't know verbatim what it was, but he basically said like, if like your girlfriend breaks up with you and then like 5 minutes later she's like getting pumped, don't feel bad because she's garbage. Like
she's low class.
Moving on so quickly. Yada yada yada, like she's not worth it. And like I'm like, well, he's expressed it like a terrible misogynist, but I kind of agree, and I think the same thing for dudes though. I mean, like if your bed, if their side of the bed's not even cold yet and you've got someone else in it, then I think that's gross. Like did you ever see that film? If I go off on a tangent here, just think about shut up. But did you ever see that film, The Voyeurs?
And
it was on Amazon Prime. Actually, a pretty good movie, quite a good kind of like sort of psychological.
Is it Vince Vaughn or is it?
No,
I'm thinking of Swingers, maybe.
Maybe.
No, I'm definitely thinking of Swingers.
Yeah.
Which isn't as it sounds. That movie is not as advertised.
No. The Voyeurs. There's a bit. It's kind of spoilerish, but it's a good movie. You should watch it. But anyway, so like, there's a bit where like they break up, and she goes and gets pumped. And they make a big, that way it's like a pure, clearly like politically like motivated fucking Twitter politics like scene where she's like, she feels bad and one of her strong independent girlfriends is like, you have nothing to feel guilty about whatsoever. And I'm like, guilty? No, but like sort of, I don't know, ashamed of herself. Like I said, the dude was barely at the bottom of the stairs and she was pumping the next guy.
No.
And I'm like, yeah, you should be. Like, are you officially speaking like single? Sure, but it's the whole thing about like you shouldn't not do shitty stuff because like repercussions. You shouldn't not cheat on your partner because I'll get caught. You should not do it because you don't want to. Because it's a shitty thing to do.
Exactly. Right.
And this wasn't cheating; they'd split up. But it's like if you were wanting to get pumped that badly, like the second, we're no longer official, right? Yeah, I think she should have been ashamed. Anyway, Andrew Tate. Sorry about that little tangent.
I'm going to jump on that tangent just ever so slightly, and I watched, and it's probably the first time I've watched Andrew Tate. I watched 2 minutes of him talking to Piers Morgan about I would just
love to the two of them in a room, and I just charge in and just beat the shit out of both of them.
And they're talking about Israel and Palestine.
Right.
And
those two who are...
Exactly, yeah. I know, like, what a fucking topic for the two of them to discuss.
What I do.
And I can't remember. Pierce asked him some pure question to pure make him look like a dick, as if to say, like, oh, you agree with us? And he hits out with some, like you say, just some pure misogynistic, like, reply along the lines of, I don't know, like...
Oh, I'll tell you what, all the birds over there need right here, I could shagging you out. That was so hard hold to bite.
Exactly. It was just like, shut up, mate. It's like, you fucking don't know what you're talking about. But he thought that by getting really angry with his reply, like, that was it. He was pure winning the argument. I'm like, mate, I've seen hundreds of guys like you who, as soon as they start losing the argument, just pull out the pure alpha male aggressiveness.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fly because he was making no point. I mean, Pierce Morgan...
He was making up for it with volume rather than...
Aye, other than, like, message and... What the hell happened there?
Yeah.
Suckle.
Yeah, I thought so.
But, yeah, sorry, getting back to, like, split-ups and stuff like that. So this one bird in particular split up with her husband, so they've been together,
that's more major.
Yeah. Well, exactly, but, I mean, this breakup was... Along the lines of it was like, I just want to, I want to just sit like and watch TV. That was like, it wasn't like, and it was like, they had kids and stuff between them. It's like that's you don't get to do that.
Well,
that sounds like depression, like, you know.
Well, what do you mean? That's why?
That's why she wanted to break up. She's like, I just want like to be by myself. I don't want to. And you're like, well, you can't do that. And I think the pair of them waited a respectful amount of time before they, you know, both of them got together. Potentially he jumped in a bit too fast.
Right.
But then he's about 40 and his new girlfriend's about 23.
Right.
And if you've ever watched, not watched, or sort of read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you'll know that that's the kind of, you know, the lucky number, the meaning of life, the universe, and everything.
Right, yeah.
So he took that as a sign. I don't know, like, I mean,
okay.
just call it for what it is, an excuse to piss off your ex-wife. I'm like, you know, I don't think there's any really better way to get back at somebody than to come in with a younger woman. I mean, they're still together, so time will tell if that's, you know, a true love relationship. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm happy for him. But then she's also got with somebody else. And it's just, it becomes so messy. And you're kind of like, see on paper, I don't really get, and I don't think they really get why they sort of stopped being together. Like I say, it sounded like she'd kind of, like emotionally ran out of steam to just deal with life rather than him necessarily. But at the end of the day, try and respect
was she like
people's
40ish?
Yeah,
like
so the pair of them are around 40ish. You know what I mean? So these are adults. And like I say, when a kid's involved, you're a bit like, you know, kind of grow up. The pair of yous, at the very least, try and make it work. Go to therapy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would say that he was willing to do that, you know, go to therapy and do stuff like that to sort it. And she was just like, nah, don't even want to try. So, let's see. If there's a way to maybe piss her off, that was one way to do it. So that I felt that was kind of weird. Like I say, how many years were they maybe married? Sort of 8, maybe 7 or 8. And have you heard of the 7-year itch?
Isn't it the clap or something?
No.
Isn't it?
That's a good answer.
I thought it was
No, the 7-year itch.
STD.
Are you at it?
No, I'm being.
You're being deadly serious with me. No, the 7-year itch.
Have you not seen Full Metal Jacket?
No.
They're singing something about, you know, they're doing like the roll call, you know, like chants.
Right.
It's like, got the herpes, the clap, and the 7-year itch.
No, this.
So it's the 7-year itch then?
The 7-year itch is when you've been with your partner for 7 years,
Right.
you're pretty much sick of them and you're ready to get another one.
Right.
And they reckon it's a genuine phenomenon. Like,
Well,
after 7 years, you're kind of like, you can decide to sort of stay or go.
isn't
so
it
to
every
speak.
7 years all the cells in your body have like replaced themselves by that point?
See, because it might be related to that.
I mean, maybe because
My balls aren't the same
Everybody-
balls.
well, kind of like because every different cells regenerate or replace themselves or whatever. I'm probably butchering. I'm probably explaining this like I'm wrong, but at different rates. Like doesn't your liver?
Exactly, your liver's like every 3
Yeah.
months or something. And
Yeah, and that's how it can like you can donate half it and all that shit. But yeah, after 7 years, it'll like none of your cells are the same anymore. They're all kind of have been replaced with new ones.
Yeah.
So it's like every 7 years is a new you. And so yeah, maybe that's like you've changed to the point where. Because your taste buds change, and that's kind of a weird example, but like your taste buds change, so like your preferences to things might change. You might be, and then that plus like the experiences you've had and the new memories and all that crap, you will be different people. And I guess it's just if you've kind of changed, if you're both going like. Everybody's changing, but are you both changing going in the same direction, or are you changing going in different ones, I guess?
Exactly. Are they sort of stayed the same and you're a totally different person?
Yeah.
That's I definitely think it's a phenomenon. I wouldn't necessarily say I've had a 7-year itch, but it's I get it. Like I say, people have said they've had it, so maybe that was just the case for them. Is it had been 7 years and it's sort of like right. And I, again, not want to cast too many aspersions on the sort of the motivation for leaving, but during COVID he lost his job.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a bring the mini map back up 2.6.
Would that press select?
I don't know, select. R2.
No, that just puts his hat on. Why is there a button specifically for that?
In case you need to put your hat back on. There you go, it's back, and she had to kind of go back to work and support the family a wee bit, and yeah, I'm being very cynical, but I think that was maybe a contributing factor.
Yeah, definitely.
And potentially the loss of the money was something she
That
just
would go
wasn't
both ways.
prepared.
It's not a male or female thing. It's like, but yeah, if you were used to them always working in security and shit like that, yeah, it would affect.
Well, but he got another job. You know what I mean? It was one where I don't think he was out of work for like years. I think he was out of work for a couple of months, and then back on the wagon, and is building himself back up, probably in a healthier company. Because where he worked, he was like a director.
Oh, okay, so he's pretty.
He was on mint money.
But that's what I mean though. Is like if he was like sort of important, because then who knows? I mean, is there like a status thing there? She was like, well, my man's Mr. Important and
Possibly.
things like that. Like it does have certain lifestyle implications. Were they part of the country club?
I don't know about the country club,
Shit
but
like that.
Certainly they were used to certain holidays and things like that. And I think the lifestyle change maybe was just a bit of a not prepared to live with that. And that seems really shallow.
I think
just personally.
I think it is, and it's. I don't know why I'm trying to be diplomatic here. No, I'm just going to say what I think. I think it is because you shouldn't be marrying a lifestyle. You should be marrying the person.
It's richer and poorer, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the whole commitment.
Exactly, and people. Yeah, I don't know. It's just,
through the good times and the bad, through the easy and the rough and the smooth. For sake, now somebody else is trying to run away.
Where are you going, you flarter? Where is she?
You're gonna have to go down. You can go over to the far right.
Go that way.
Go. If you go all the way over to the far right, you can go down. No, you can't. You have to go down and work your way all the way back round. It's dog shit.
Yeah, that's just my opinion on it. That's why I'm not. It's not like I'm entirely skeptical about marriage, but in some cases I'm sort of like, why? What's the point? Because certain marriages, it's why prenups and shit like that. I don't agree with, because it's like,
don't disagree with prenups.
yeah, because
That's
it's like,
sick.
well, why? Well, no, what I mean
You
is,
were a hopeless romantic. Jesus.
no, because like, if you're marrying them, like, why you should be marrying them because you want to marry them. You shouldn't be marrying them because, alright, I'll divorce them after 8 months and get half their shit. It's like a bet. It's like a contract.
But
on,
it doesn't work like that.
We
though.
fall out,
I'm
you can-
sure it doesn't work. Maybe it works like that in America, but and the judge takes into account what was your net contribution to the household.
Yeah, but I mean,
sat in
divorce.
my arse and ate fucking donuts and.
I'm not gonna be the whole. I'm not gonna do the whole. Oh, men have it way worse than women, because they don't. But in divorce proceedings, like, you know, statistically, men get the shaft way worse than women. There's still a slightly, frankly, quite misogynistic mindset that the man should provide for the woman even after they get divorced. And you're like, what? Why? And they almost always get custody of, like, if there's kids and they want custody, they'll get it.
That is unfair, because that's
If they want the house, the XYZ. Shane, feel free to stop me here, right? But Shane Mosley, the boxer, world champion boxer, I don't know if you've heard of him.
Sanjay ran away. Whatever.
Oh
it's fine.
shit!
It's fine. You don't need him. You could probably win this without even anyone in your team.
Yeah, but I feel bad.
If you hit up and down as well, not just now, but once you've used up all your Kaizuna rush or whatever, if you hit up and down, you can actually charge up multiple characters. Thing me.
So Shane Mosley, when he got divorced, his wife wanted his world title belts.
No.
And got them.
What?
Yeah.
What's the justification for that?
Oh, she was on about. Oh, it's
You got to save Zorro. He's the one up north. Got to save him, because if he runs away, that's you're going to really struggle
bottom left.
without your superpowers.
Because something about some bollocks she said about, like, oh, for, like, I want to show the kids, like, know about yada yada,
Working
you know,
hard
some pish like that. And it was like,
his fucking championship belt.
I mean, we can debate about, like, say there's some, like, billionaire CEO, say, and he's a man and he's married to a woman, and she stays at home and raises the kids, and they, like, get divorced, and she's like, well, I want a whole bunch of money because I raised your kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like that. There's a debate there. There's a conversation to be had, but his title belts, she didn't get in there and get punched. Like, that's nonsense. That was straight up vindictive.
Yeah.
Fuck you move. Did he get her freaking designer high heels or some shit like that? You know,
They're not really the same, but
Nah, just that's just one example.
That is that. No, but again, that's why we're talking
that's,
about
that's
it.
That's
a really weird breakup.
Yeah.
Like you say,
That's the only reason
that's just to hurt you. That's
yeah.
like take something that really meant something to him.
Yeah, that's what only thing I mean about, like, prenups is, like, it's alright, you're marrying me because you want to, not because of, like, money or what have you. Alright, well, you shouldn't have you sign this then, so that if you dump me, then you don't get dick.
Right, if we break up in X number of years, prenup means you're not getting half my shit.
Yeah, kind of. Well, but if you trust me, then, like, well, if you trust we're not going to break up, then you've nothing to worry about. So I don't know.
I think that depends on where you sit on the alignment chart.
What, like, you should trust me?
If you're a neutral, filthy neutrals, or chaotic evil, I think you'd probably choose a prenup.
No, chaotic evil. Chaotic evil's not that fun, because it would just be like, what'd you do? I just killed him. Like, that's the problem with chaotic evil, is like, alright, this guy just saved your life, what do you do? I stab him. Like, that's chaotic evil sounds fun, but, like, when you actually, like, play it,
it's so impractical.
You're right.
It's
kind of lousy. I get what you're saying though. You'd be like,
I quit a D&D sort of sesh, and just because two guys were just playing, like, wasn't even fucking chaotic evil, they were just playing chaotic dicks.
Yeah.
I'm just going to steal him. It's like, fuck me, can we actually go on an adventure? No, I'll pickpocket him and build a whole fucking prostitute empire in the city. Like, I don't have fucking time for this. I want to go and just explore a dungeon. Jesus, is that so much to ask?
Aye. Some people get D&D is a tricky one. Some people take it too seriously and it stops being fun, and then people piss about too much, and you're like, right, going to shut up so we can actually like get through the story. It takes 3 hours to have one
get in a
like
cave,
encounter.
exactly, I know.
Because they're quoting Monty Python and shit like that.
So that was one kind of particular like relationship. It's weird. I've had a relationship just kind of fizzle out. It was just a kind of mutual like we just sort of stopped talking to each other one day. It was just that was the thing. Actually, I think my phone just kind of died.
Right.
And I legit like didn't really have her number and just kind of never bothered like kind of sorting that problem. And I was just sort of alright, well, sort of done.
She sent me this text. It was like, "You are a shit dancer. You are dumped."
Aye, more
That's
or
from
less.
In-Betweeners, the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Your dancing is shit. You are dumped. Can I go through it?
Aye, yeah.
No, I can't. There's a lot.
Oh, no, but
Or
once
everybody,
you kill these guys.
Oh, he's backing away. I see.
The funnery. And so from the other side, I mind there was a guy I used to work with, who, again, 2 kids involved, but his wife just got like, and there's no other way to say this, she's got really fat,
right.
And he like, I don't know, just all of a sudden just pure switch went, because he was pretty chunky himself as well, and all of a sudden a switch went in him, and he was just like, no, I'm not going to live like this anymore. And he like started eating really good and started working out, and he was looking good at the gym, and it was kind of like, he's just sort of like, no, I'm too good for you now. I think as well he got a kind of promotion from like a kind of, I don't know, like say a production manager to like a full on technical director. And I think he kind of just let all of that sort of combined get to his head, and rather be like, my wife, is either happy the way she is, or we could work out together. It could be a thing, Yeah. So you don't have to be fat. It was just sort of like, you're fat now, I'm fucking like, you're dumped.
See ya, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2 quite young kids from memory.
That's kind of worse in a way as well, because like having a kid makes you fatter. Like that's
exactly.
Gonna be a fat. Like I don't know. I don't think I would tell my wife or whatever to lose weight at all.
I think it's a dangerous prospect.
Yeah, I mean, but I think
for anyone.
At the very least, if it's like you just had a kid, they get a certain amount of time. Like I'm maybe not expressing that very well.
No, I get what you're saying. You're kind of like,
the baby's just born. All that, right?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, get that baby fat.
Why are you still fat? Like, what the fuck? Like the baby just came out.
And it wasn't like that. I think it's...
Yeah, I know.
The kids were like 7 or 8. But I think there was maybe a bit of a reasonable time scale that could have been had. And it all, like I say, it was like a wee switch went in him. And it's maybe back to the whole 7-year itch thing, where he was all of a sudden, he was like, no, do you know what? I'm not happy being fat. And I'm like, yeah, good for you. You sorted yourself out. But then I kind of feel like he just sort of was like, no, like, and I don't know, and to be fair, I need to tie up with him, find out whatever happened. Like, I only know it up to that point in the story. Well, literally, I mean, this was probably 5 years ago. Could even be longer than that. Like, that's just what happened. He'd divorced her, it was like, done. Job was, like, over. And like, he just completely bailed on like his whole kind of way of like living.
Yeah, he just has like a new life.
New life, and I assume a new bird in that now, especially given how long they've been sort of separated. See if you push like down, it'll swap. You've already got full on both. That's good. So you can use both of them.
Oh, cheeky, right.
You leveled up, nice.
Oh, very smashing people.
Oh God, Vivi, stop shouting.
Yeah, again, I guess I just kind of think like if you think you're gonna be together forever and you want to get married, like go for it. It's like, but if you're like, I can make a body in 3 years, we'll wait and see. Like, why are you getting married then?
There's a reasonable time scale to get married though. Like, and they've kind of again, what I heard is sort of between 2 and 8 years is kind of like maybe I'm going to say reasonable amount. Take as long as you want, you know what I mean? But like if it's taking longer than 8 years, are they really that into you?
How do you mean?
Well,
if you've been going out for...
see if you've been going out for like 2 weeks, right?
I'm talking about getting married.
I'm talking about getting married, like nutter, like grade A nutter.
That's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Not nostalgia, not graduation. The opposite of that.
Infatuation.
Yeah, aye.
You're aye, and you see it. Like we were watching Married at First Sight, and there's two. Like there's a couple on that were like, oh, I love you, like purely, and I know they get married, but it was like they've only known each other.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, exactly. Aye. On paper, they've only known each other an hour, and she's like, oh my god, I like love you. You're like you're the love of my life, and then he starts saying it back to her, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you two?
There was I only watched it once a few years back, and it was the Australian one, but the same concept. And you know, folk were saying like, oh, we've arranged, like we're moving in together. I'm moving from like one side of Australia to the other.
Aye.
All this type of stuff. Like, as soon as the show's like done, and you're like, because I don't know how the show works exactly, but they're not like, it's not their normal lives. Like they're not going to work and things like that while they're on the show.
Oh, exactly. Aye. It's funny though, the way they put them together is so tenuous. Like I saw this Facebook short that was like it describes the show perfectly. It's like pure, you know. Well, he's a dog lover, and she strangles cats. Let's make it a match.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, those are opposite things. It's like,
yeah, if anything.
But she kind of like, she sort of tries to dress it up like they have so much in common. It's like that. Well, she likes walking hills, and he likes bodybuilding. Let's make it a match.
Yeah.
It's like, well, but that's one's gentle exercise, and the other's like,
yeah,
like he's a meathead. He has no like. The two of them have nothing in common. It's like, it's fucking dumb. Oh, time for Big Luffy.
The one thing they said on the show one time was they said we don't match up because of interest. We match up because of like values. You know, like because they're deeper than sort of surface interests. And I'm like, well, I guess that could make sense, but I reckon that this is a show. And your producers just go, wouldn't it be funny if...
There's definitely some. Like, one dude was like, oh, I'm polyamorous. Not polyamorous? Is it polyamorous? Well, you don't love either male or female. You love the person or whatever.
Yeah.
So there was this dude on it who was like... so they put him together with a transsexual woman.
Right.
And
just to see if he was bluffing?
I guess. I mean, or just to sort of see if... You know, how tolerant really are you? And needless to say, they fucking broke up in spectacular fashion. In fact, she came back on the show with a different husband.
Yeah.
Like with a different guy who, I mean, he was filth as well. He took one look at his potential wife and was like, "No, you don't give me an immediate boner. You is dumped." He was like, "Fucking hell." Aye, man. It's weird. It's just weird.
The people on these shows are such idiots as well, because it's like they don't realise that they're being filmed when there's a massive film crew in front of them, because they say shit and then it gets played back later. They're like, oh, what? I didn't think we were going to see that back.
Well, aye.
What did you expect?
It's easy to forget when the cameras aren't pure. They're not like right.
I get what you're saying, but I mean,
you're in an apartment.
The specific one I'm talking about, he was saying it, you know, like to the camera. You're like, if when you know, sometimes you get interviewed directly to the camera.
Okay. Oh no, fuck that.
Yeah. It was right after the wedding, and he said something cheeky like, "Oh, I might have to get her up jogging in the mornings and stuff like that."
Twat. I'm pretty sure it's not Bazooka, is it? That's a one punch. How's that Storm? Aye, then it's Bazooka.
What's the logic of that cutting through his weird sand?
I don't know. The power of punching.
I mean, I get that, but
the power of
the
rubber punch.
gum through it also makes his.
I mean, sand. It's only sand at the end of the day.
Sand? But if can you harden sand to be as hard as?
Well, sand makes glass.
Yeah.
I mean, rock.
Sandstone.
But rock beats scissors. And paper covers rock.
But fire beats everything.
How about a gun? But the values one is an interesting one. Like we do like value matching at work, so you're meant to pick like 5 values from like a mad word list. And it's interesting when you do talk to people like totally different value sets, with some degree of overlap, is quite good. So like some of the value words like Amanda picks is pure like kindness and shit, but she also picked fun. Was it like fun, creativity, and something else? Whereas Ethan has like fun and humour. Yeah. So I've got like humour. So it's weird. Like Ethan's like a match of like a kind of blend of the two of us. Yeah. But he also has power, which is a bit concerning as one of his values.
It depends if it's the healthy pursuit of power or the
I'll
stab anyone of you in the back at any moment pursuit of power.
It feels like an Emperor Palpatine kind of power, if I'm honest. Yeah, so there's definitely concerns. But yeah, no, if that's what you value, that's what you value. So it's just weird. If you were to pick out, I might even give you it. It's like a list of 40 words. You pick out 5 to 10 that kind of you go, those are the ones that really stick to me. You'll kind of be like, if you meet somebody else, you'll be like, so they might pick totally different ones to you. Bon.
Oh no.
I'm not paying attention. I don't know who Bon is. I do know who Bon is. He's Mr. 2, Mr. 1, Mr. 3. Could be Mr. 7 for all I fucking know. It's just, let's say, I find it fascinating just how different people have different value sets.
Who's how far along is Married at First Sight?
Oh, it's done now.
Oh, is it done?
Aye. This season done.
Who won?
Who won?
Yeah. Isn't there a winner?
They can't won. No.
I thought it was a winner.
No.
Don't they vote for like best marriage at the end or something like that?
No. I mean, they do the reunion show, and quite a few people refuse to come back.
Really?
Aye.
Ooh.
I mean,
were any of them still together to come back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Right.
One or two of them stayed married. They made the commitment, like the final commitment ceremony. They actually I think 3 couples in total. Maybe it's not even as many as that. This one woman totally let her friends like decide her relationship, like future for her. Like her friends didn't like him, and I'm like, yeah, but your friends are like bitches. They don't like anyone.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah. She found him very sweet and endearing. But then her friend's like, no, we don't like him. And he's like, but your friends attack me. He's like, this is the 3rd interaction I've had with your friends, and your friends just come for me, like they pure come. And he's like, I'm not standing for it anymore. He's like, it's just a personal attack. They come at me and they go like that. How are you going to support Laura? How are you going to do this? What are you going to do if she wants to go out on the weekends and fuck another guy? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's not a hypothetical. Shut the fuck up. And she's like, oh, I can't believe you're so rude to my friends. He's like, they're being fucking cunts to me.
Yeah.
Like, your friends are vile. Your friends are the worst kind of human beings. Your friends are people who listen to people on TikTok talking about, oh, this is what the red flag of a relationship is.
Oh, don't get me started on the red flags.
I'm not going to get you started on the red flags, but the problem is you've got influencers and you've got people who are influenced by influencers. Which
is the worst. You get influencers who kind of know what they're talking about, and then you get influencers who are influenced by influencers. So it's like a not even
third-rate advice.
Third degree.
They can regurgitate what an influencer told them, but they don't have an opinion or experience.
They can't even do it verbatim. They don't actually understand what they're saying.
Aye.
Yeah.
They don't. They've never been in a long-term
relationship. It's not backed
relationship.
up by any empirical freaking data.
It's like, what's your longest relationship? Oh, 12 minutes. Like, what the fuck are you doing making a top 10 list of red flags then?
I see. To be fair, this was ages ago, but like there was a girl and it was on Facebook. It was years ago. I think it was like Mindcore or some shit like that.
Mindcore
or some shit like that.
Right.
They just shared interesting facts, but it shared one. And to be fair, they did the typical studies have shown, without telling you which studies and what have you. But it was like studies have shown that people who like constantly share on social media how great the relationship is and stuff like that are usually, usually not necessarily always like the least sort of secure in the relationship. Yeah. She was like, "This isn't true. Me and my boyfriend are perfect together, and we share each other like constantly." And it was like, "All right, 18-year-old wee Shelley from Rutherglen."
Exactly.
Like, because someone had replied to her like, "Okay, you're one example of anecdotal evidence. Clearly is better than the empirical data that has been gathered." Like.
And don't get me wrong, studies are released for money. Like scientists are paid to do studies.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like studies, I hate that phrase. Studies have shown, because like what I can do it right now. Is your name Stuart?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I did a study and it showed that 100% of people are called Stuart. Like, unless you have further info, like it means nothing.
Minimum amount of people you need for like a statistical like significant.
I mean, at least 100, surely.
No, but it's only about 38, 39.
Why is that?
I don't know, but you need that minimum amount. Yeah. But then what they also do is you need that minimum amount to show a pattern. See if you have that number, but you've selected it.
Deliberately selected.
Yeah, if you've picked it out of a pattern of 200, right, and it just so happens that you've picked a section of 39 that agrees with your hypothesis. It doesn't matter that all 160 others all say no, shite. Toothpaste caused like anal bleeding. It's like, no, we've picked out these 100% of respondents said it was good. You can selectively pick those 38. No one's going to stop you. It's like that. Who's going to fucking read this study?
Yeah.
So that's a fact. That's definitely what happens.
So don't take the studies have shown thing too seriously, but it's also like data kind of trumps your your example. Oh, well, my pal done it, he said it was alright.